America, what's going on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and all the other good joints. It's Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And I do apologize that I've been MIA the last couple days. I'm not shocked if some of you guys are punishing me by not watching right now. But trust me, you want to see this one, it's going to be a good one. But before I do that, I want to check and make sure that let's see, that the notifications have gone out. So I know it's early in the morning, and I figured I have a better shot at catching you guys early than catching you guys later, because later is when I have to get up and go to work. Sometimes I'm able to get up early enough to do the show. Sometimes I'm not. Until I calibrate my sleeping habits and stuff like that, we're going to have to keep making adjustments here and there. Yeah, so for all of you early birds, y'all can go ahead and get the worm by watching me earlier in the morning. And then I might even start trying to do some double duty, keep y'all off balance, and also to make up for the ones that I've missed, because there's so much stuff to talk about. So much stuff to talk about. Yeah, somebody said, hey, Kev, I see people logging in now. There we go. So I guess YouTube are sending out some notifications or something like that. Ah, that's interesting. Yeah, but as soon as my bootleg phone boots up, I'll see if I got one from my other account. So if you have not subscribed to Kevin's Corner, well, not Kevin's Corner, but my Stop and Think About It YouTube channel, please do that. All right, giving some people a chance to go ahead and log in. I see people saying, oh, good to see you this morning. Yeah, man. See? I'm ambidextrous when it comes down to my behavior. You never know. Might throw a left, might throw a right. You never know. Might be up late, might be up early. You don't know. Don't put me in a box. Don't put me in a box. But while I'm waiting on this to boot up and some people to log in, let me know, first of all, if you can hear me. And make sure ain't no popping and beatboxing and stuff like that going on with the mic. So if you can hear me, that's great. Yeah, somebody said, good morning, Kev's Corner while at work. That's what I'm talking about. Don't worry, we won't tell though. It's our little secret. Yeah, man. All right, so let's see if this phone is now booted up. It's taking forever. I'm a little disappointed. You know, you would think modern technology, these phones would be able to boot up a little quicker, but it's taking forever. All right, so let's see here, because we got some stuff to talk about, y'all. You know it. You already know. I've missed it. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Ugh. It's still stretching me out, making me look all funny and stuff. I don't like that. I don't like it. I look all stretched out and stuff like that. But there I am. And until I figure that out, we'll just roll with it. That's what we're going to do. Somebody said, Keith, say respect, bro. That's what I'm talking about. Respect back to you, my friend. Yeah, it's from Trinidad. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Somebody said, I read you. 5 times 5. Okay. All right. So now, since that's been established, and I know that at least you guys can hear me and see me, I might as well go ahead and get busy. And in fact, I'm going to skip my normal intro because I want to get right down to it. Now, I've been gone for a couple of days, and I'm sure you all have witnessed and heard on the news that President Trump launched an attack on Iran's nuclear facility. Oh, yeah. And it was all kind of mixed opinions and feelings about it and stuff like that. Well, Kev from Kevin's Corner didn't get a chance to share his feelings about it, didn't get a chance to weigh in what he thought about it. Plus, I wanted a little bit of the smoke to clear first, too, and, you know, before I jump right in. So with that being said, we're going to be talking about that for the most part. But before we do that, I want to start off by setting the tone because, see, the Democrats, they're upset. Now, they're not upset because of what Trump did. They're upset because what Trump did worked and was good, and they can't have that. And they want to be a part of all of the major decision-making processes and stuff like that goes on in the White House. And I'm going to show you why they can't be trusted with that. Starting off with a little exchange that took place up there in the Capitol with a witch. Y'all didn't know the Democrats got witches? Yeah, most all the women in the Democrat Party that are out there are witches. I mean, whether they know they're witches or not, they might be, ignorant witches. They don't realize that, they're channeling witch behavior. And one of them, who not only channels the witch behavior but looks like a witch, had the nerve to be questioning Pam Bondi about some stuff. And honestly, I barely understood what the stuff was about because of the way the witch was handling the questioning. So let's go ahead and watch this wicked witch question Pam Bondi about something. Yeah, a witch. I tell you.
Fentanyl seizures are down 30% compared to last year.
Now y'all see her? Y'all see the witch? Y'all know that witch when you see one. Man, she got witch features. Boy, she got the witch's attitude, the evilness. Good googly moo. How you gonna be about 75 years old and you still rocking purple in your hair? Talking about a late last minute push for her rekindling her youth. So now, let's go ahead and hear what she's talking about, because she's pretending that she's talking about something serious and she really wants to know some answers. And see, this is the problem with the Democrat Party. They're not serious. After you see her behavior, you will understand why they can't be trusted with sensitive information. How are you going to trust anybody who acts like this with any type of sensitive information? Check it out.
And that data is coming from the Customs and Border Patrol, CBP. I don't make it up.
Okay.
But fentanyl seizures are down.
See, that's what happened when you using witch words. All of that stuff. Sometimes you get all jammed up with all of the witch words. So let's finish hearing her go ahead and question Pam Bondi. Now, we all know when these folks up there bring out their witches and warlocks, they are reading off of questions that somebody prepared for them in effort to, I guess, get the Republicans with a gotcha. They don't really want to know what's going on. She could care less about the fentanyl, because if she cared about the fentanyl and all of that stuff, she would have been blasting Joe Biden and his whole administration for allowing all of those millions of illegal immigrants to come across our border, along with all of the millions and millions of pounds of fentanyl. They killed a whole heap of people. But now all of a sudden she wants to know about the fentanyl. So if she was really serious about these things, then she would have been serious about it when it counted. So now she's pretending to want to know about fentanyl. So here we go.
How many ATF law enforcement officers and industry operations investigators do you anticipate will be lost?
See? Slow down with your witch words. That's the problem. Yeah, and it's also the problem when you're not familiar with the material that you're reading, obviously. You don't want to know about this stuff. They sat around saying, how can we go out there and put the pressure on any Republican to try to jumble them up, make them seem incompetent, expose Trump, make it seem like Trump is not serious about stopping fentanyl because he's running around locking up all of these illegal immigrants. Well, the good thing about that is that right now, illegal immigration crossing is so low right now. So very, very low. We can actually divvy out some assignments to, our law enforcement down there on the border. I mean, that's the greatest thing about this. Folks ain't trying to come across our border like they were under Biden. Isn't that odd? Because they said they couldn't stop that mess. Yeah, they was like, what's not we can do? Congress got to pass acts and stuff like that. So now she's pretending that she's wanting to know the duties of all of the men down there at ATF and all of that stuff.
Lost to attrition, the direction you are headed with this budget, and that's what it is. That's all, folks.
That is that's all, folks. Now you hear her getting all jumbled up once again. That's the problem when you don't feel it, when it's really not you. When you just 5 minutes before the hearings out there, all right, did you write up something for me? Okay, great. I'm going to go ahead and read this and try to make it seem like it comes right off the tongue. It's natural. It's passionate. It's sincere. None of it's sincere. We all know that. And she's not there for sincere questions and information. That's why we can't take them seriously. They are all a bunch of, somebody wrote it right there, Clowns. Did it, did it, did it, did it. You know the song. Did it. Then run it up. Take it up a couple keys. Now here we go. She's about to come back after the Porky Pig moment.
They're going to be out on the streets. If I can finish, they're going to be out on the streets.
I have three.
No.
minutes.
You asked me a question.
I did. And
you asked me a question.
And you haven't
I'm gonna
answered my
answer.
question.
So they're going to be out on the streets working
You haven't
hand in
answered
hand
my
with
question.
DEA
You
to
haven't answered.
violate.
Now you see her getting harassed by the witch. You see her trying to work her evil spell on Pam Bondi. But see, the thing is that warlock and witch stuff don't work on us. Yeah, she comes in there, Thad, you're not answering my question, as she's trying to answer the question. Now, should we take these people seriously in any application? Do you think any Democrat would sincerely work with the Trump administration, even if it was about serious situations like fentanyl, like, folks? So how about those 300,000 children that's missing? You would think they would want to seriously sit down in a room and say, what are we doing about this? We really want to know. No cameras on us and all of this stuff. We sincerely want to know. But they're incapable of doing it. This party only plays games. They're the theater kids. So let's finish hearing this one person who I guess is her persona is once again the witch. You see that witch nose? That's a witch nose for you right there. Here we go.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like an answer to my question.
As I was attempting to answer your question very calmly, unlike you,
That's how you handle witches. There you go. You rebuke them. I don't care how many lead thieves and the bat wings and eye of newt they try to use on you. Yeah, you just go ahead and call them out. All right? We are sick of these witches. Throw a little bit of water on them and watch them melt. So now here's Pam Bondi trying to actually answer the question, but the witch, she has bad intentions. She don't want to know nothing about it.
Well, excuse me, Madam Attorney General. Answer yes or no. Tell me what the numbers are.
Now you better simmer down. You better simmer down right now. Somebody go get her broom so she can fly back to wherever she came from. Trying to get all serious and stuff with that big fat. How can I even take you seriously when you come out here with those big streaks of purple or blue or whatever color that is in your hair, and you're a full-blown grown woman, not just grown, but old. You're an old, stanky hag with that blue in your hair, and you want us to take you seriously.
I hear all of your filibuster about this. Go ahead, please, tell us the numbers. Okay, let me answer the question for you. I'm going to answer it for you.
See?
Page.
Don't see that. Yeah, you see her? Yeah, she started almost speaking in her witch language or something like that. So that just goes to show this woman, she's rattled. She don't know what she's talking about. And Pam Bondi's trying to be serious and address the question, but the witch won't let her. The witch is not there for that. Yeah, and so now she's getting jumbled up on all her witch words and stuff like that. I'm surprised she didn't throw some powder or something at Pam Bondi, but let's continue watching her make a fool of herself.
Chairman, you give me a certain amount of time, and I have a high respect for you, but I don't have to listen, nor do my colleagues have to listen to a filibuster when it's a simple question. But I have an answer to your question. I yield back my time. Let's get some answers here.
See? Now, y'all watch her performance. She's not the only one. It's all of the Democrats. As soon as they come up there, as soon as they get a mic in their face, we already can assume how they're going to behave. We can assume it. We know no matter what the context is, what the information is, what the topic is, they're going to come out and make buffoons of themselves. They cannot help it. I don't care how serious it is. They're going to make a mockery of whatever it is, which brings us to Donald Trump. And I'm wondering, at what point do these Democrats just have to tap out and recognize Trump's greatness? And some rhinos and the fake news. I mean, I was thinking about it the other day. Hold on. Who's over there somebody's chewing on something. You better not be chewing on nothing, Nala, or it's going to be me and you. All right? Yeah, you are. Get away from that. Don't look that way. Better not chew on that. She's been chewing on stuff, man, like she's going through a late stage of puppyhood. It's going to be me and you, I'm telling you. Let me get back to y'all. I'm sorry. I have to get distracted. I don't want to have to whoop the kids in front of y'all. Anyway, So I was thinking about it the other day, and I said, man, Trump is undoubtedly, as of now, the greatest president of all times. For the simple fact, look at how he is handling America and all of these issues and topics, all of the stuff that he has to address, and he's aggressively doing it. I mean, he has to deal with the border, along with fighting off all of these bootleg, phony judges that are trying to stop him, the Democrats, the rioting, the looting, the burning stuff. He has to deal with, the deportation. He has to deal with, the Russia and Ukraine situation. He had to deal with the whole Iran and Israel situation. He's dealing with a whole bunch of stuff, the tariffs. He's dealing with all of this, and he's juggling it and going at it aggressively. I mean, I've never seen a president just go at every topic and every problem so aggressively. And that's what makes him so great. He's one of those guys that's like, I'm not going to kick the can down the road. You don't see that problem right there in front of us? No, we can't wait. We got to get that done. Let's get this done. We can get this done. We can get that done. And I'm saying, great. Look at him going after these very, very serious issues, and he's trying to correct it. So when he's gone, we don't have to worry about it. Ain't nothing worse than a president having 4 or 8 years or whatever, and you're hoping that they would solve some major issues, and then they're gone, and those issues are still there, and then the next regime come in, they're still there, or even worse, the Democrats come in, and they, inflame the whole problem, make it even worse. These are the things that Trump is trying to handle, and these are major, major issues that we can all observe with our own eyes, him in real time going after these issues to deal with them, whether people like the way he dealt with all of them or not. And so I personally think he's dealing with them wonderfully, especially this latest situation when it comes down to what he did to Iran. Now, I saw all kind of reactions, a lot of even conservatives. Oh, God, what's going to happen? They panicked. What are we going to do? I can't believe we intervened. We got involved. We should have never did it. And I'm saying, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I trust Trump in this situation because, one, I've been following Trump for years talking about Iran and these darn nuclear weapons. It ain't like it just popped up. It ain't like he was influenced by Bibi. These are things that he's been talking about for years and things that I myself have been contemplating, like what happens if that country gets their hands on a nuclear weapon. But number two, I trust that whatever decision was made, it would be only to deal with the problem. And the problem was those facilities that could be enriching uranium for nuclear weapons. That's it. I did not expect any type of strike to be, all right, now let's send in the troops. I don't think that that's Trump's style. I don't think that was the purpose of the strike. I knew what the strike was designed to do. It was to solve a problem, and that's it. Now, if, you're smart, after seeing how we dealt with that, and then also seeing us say, all right, now, we're done. You probably would say, well, you're not going to go ahead and finish the job? Look how easily y'all dealt with this. Y'all could probably deal with a whole country. It's just as easy if you wanted to go in and bring troops in and all of that stuff. And I'm saying that wasn't the goal. The goal was simple. Let's go ahead, destroy those nuclear sites, and then, hey, whatever happens after that is on y'all, because we don't want to prolong it. We don't want to, drag this thing out. And I said, that's a great strategy, a great way to do it. And I'll tell you more about that as we get into it. But what kills me, though, is the reactions coming from, of course, the Democrats, which is expected, and, of course, the fake news. And I'm thinking to myself, if Trump pulled this off, no matter how flawless it could have been and how necessary it was, you would think that the Democrats or the fake news would at least pretend to say, okay, we're going to recognize Trump's greatness in this application. But what did they do? Well, we're about to see. So let's get into it.
The gloves are off. The jar has been opened.
The next week is going to be very big, maybe less than a week, maybe less. But is there anybody here that said it would be okay to have a hostile very, zealots, really. But to have a hostile country have a nuclear weapon that could destroy 25 miles, but much more than that?
Now, that's a great question. See, that's a great question for people to contemplate. Because I'm sure there were a lot of people say, well, that ain't got really nothing to do with us. I mean, it's far over there and it's somewhere in our, Middle East. That's Israel's problem. Now, me as a Christian, I do believe that it is important. I think we are blessed by proxy when it comes down to the U.S. because of our, loyalty and love for Israel. If you're a Bible believer, hey, those who love Israel, God shows favor. Those who hate Israel, woe unto you. So I do believe it is important that we maintain a wonderful relationship with Israel. But just from a practical standpoint, outside of my religious beliefs, when you evaluate the nature of Iran and the behavior of Iran, if you don't address this now, do you think if Kamala Harris would have won, or Joe Biden, do you think that Iran would have said, you know what, we're not going to go forward and build a nuclear weapon? Do you think that if Trump didn't do this right now, and God forbid another president comes about that isn't MAGA first, he could be a rhino or somebody who gets in, even worse, a Democrat, and all of a sudden now Iran has nuclear weapons, I think everybody would be looking back saying, why didn't somebody do something? We only have short windows in history to either prevent something or allow it to happen. And when you look at a country like Iran and them being as close as they were, you would be saying, okay, that was a great moment right there. If we'd have did something right then, we wouldn't have to deal with them like we're dealing with some of the other countries that folks didn't stop it when it could have been stopped. Like, of course, North Korea. Now, North Korea, we have to handle them with kid gloves to a degree, because even if they can't damage our homeland with a nuclear device or something like that, we got all these other countries around them and our bases and stuff that we have to, of course, take into consideration now. Whereas before, it's like, yo, without the nuclear threat, we'll put our foot up your butt. Once folks get a nuclear weapon, you now have to negotiate totally different. And they become emboldened and more reckless with their behavior. It's kind of like when, somebody got a gun. I mean, I've seen some dudes who couldn't fight a lick. They were sorry. But as soon as they knew they had a gun, they were popping trash all over the place. Any other time, you would have just been like, man, you better get out my face, man. I'm going to punch you in your heart. All right, man, good. Go ahead, man, for real. You cool. Then all of a sudden they get a gun and they're like, man, you ain't gonna do nothing to me. What you wanna do? And you're going, man, if you didn't have that gun, I would smash you. However, even with, a country like North Korea at least have self-preservation. Kim Jong-un, he wants to live. He's like, just don't go over here and replace my regime and this and this and that. He understands, that, hey, yeah, you could do some damage with your nukes, but that would result in us blowing your whole country off the map. But when you're dealing with a country who is led and driven by religious ideology, that's a whole different ballgame now. Now you have to question the built-in nature of self-survival when it comes down to allowing religious beliefs to trump that. When you're dealing with a rogue country where they're saying, yo, this is the will of Allah, for us to do this, I'm going, whoa, we all don't believe in Allah, okay? Jesus says, no, don't do it. So it's a whole different deal when you're dealing with a country like Iran, pre-nuclear and post-nuclear. And Trump, I think, recognized that, along with me. I've always been looking over there going, how much longer before they actually come out and say, now we got a nuclear weapon and we're really reckless now. We talking real trash now. So let's see what he did. Here we go.
Can destroy other nations just by the breeze blowing the dust. That dust blows to other nations and they get decimated. This is just not a threat you can have. And we've been threatened by Iran for many years.
And that's another issue. That is another issue that I think that a lot of isolationists, which I am an isolationist, I do not believe that we should be committed to a ongoing war or regime change. And I think Trump believes that too, based on his behavior. But yeah, when you're dealing with nuclear weapons like that in a country, see, here's Iran's problem. They was talking trash while they were building the nukes. How about you just shut your mouth and act like y'all just working on a secret project, but you out there going, death to America, death to Israel. I mean, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. How do we, y'all making bombs with Israel and America on it, and I'm going, hey, now, right about now, those just ballistic missiles and stuff like, imagine if you got a nuke. Okay, imagine if you snuck one into the U.S. under Biden and his raggedy policies. Who knows? Who knows? See, so when you have a country out there talking reckless like that, and they're working on the most destructive device known to man, I don't think it's a good idea to just go, they're just bluffing. Don't worry about it. If they make one, it has nothing to do with us. How would that eventually work its way over here? I don't want to take that chance if we could stop it with relatively no blowback or anything. And it appears as of now, this, strike really left nothing when it comes down to, some type of damage to us. We're going, we didn't lose nothing. Didn't lose no ships, didn't lose nothing. Iran got mad. They let Trump know, hey, we're going to pretend to be retaliating, okay? We're just letting you know up front. So we're going to go through the motions and get it out of our system and act like we're doing stuff so our people won't disrespect us. But just know, we're not going to harm anybody, any of your places, your infrastructure, or your people, okay? All right, are you ready? Ready? Okay, the action. And I'm going, that was great. Not to mention also that Trump is very cautious when it comes down to human life. And that is another aspect of a leader that I see in him, unlike many others. He, the first time when they tried to goat him into going to war with Iran, a lot of people's like, well, he's just, he don't care about life and this and that, and he's just doing this for his ego. And I said, no, wait a minute. If he didn't care about life, the first time in his presidency, when they shot down that drone, and Nancy Pelosi and the Chuck Schumer and all of them and Milley was all going, we need to strike now. We need to strike now, Mr. President. And he gave the green light, and our planes were in the air. And then he decided to think about that and said, wait a minute, how many lives are going to be lost with this strike? And I thought we estimate 150 to 200. And he said, 150 lives compared to a drone. That's not equal. Those lives are more important than the drone. Call it off. That right there shows character and it shows morality. He thinks deeper than just, let's blow stuff up. So apparently, they made sure this was a very strategic, coordinated strike that did not end up killing folks. It did exactly what it was designed to do, which is destroy those nuclear plants. Now, if they're that mad over that they're willing to retaliate against the U.S. to the point where we now shift our attention from just those sites and start saying, now we're looking at you. We looking at the people, and we ain't even got to send troops in to get rid of you. You do realize that. We came up in your crib in the middle of the night and nobody knew we were even there. You woke up the next morning like, what? You got to be kidding me. When did they blow it all up? Yeah, you didn't even know we were there. We were in and out. That should let you know. That's it. That's it. If they got to us like that and we didn't get a shot off, we didn't get no planes off the ground, nothing. That means we could do this to you at any moment. That was grace. If Trump was all about war, all about regime change, he would have said, yeah, target him, target all the leaders, blow up all their buildings, blow up. He didn't do that. And so they recognize that he has a tempered hand. And that is something I'll also look at when I look at a good leader. Are you heavy-handed unnecessarily, or are you tempered? And he's tempered when it came down to this. But let's continue. Here we go.
If you go back and look at my history, if you go back 15 years, I was saying we cannot let Iran get a nuclear weapon. I've been saying it for a long time.
Now, and that's another thing that shocked me when I would hear certain, conservatives, they were upset because of the strike. Now that the strike is over and it seems to have gone off flawlessly and there's no repercussions or whatever, now all of a sudden it's like, that was good. It was very decisive. And I'm going, I knew it was good when he did it. I'm like, Yeah, hey, however Iran feel like they need to respond, it's on them. But I guarantee you, whatever their response would have been, it would have been way worse if they would have had nuclear weapons to respond with. Way worse. And it's not like Trump never said that, oh yeah, we can't let them have nuclear weapons. He had been saying this for years, absolute years. He has been asking Iran to negotiate for years, but they wouldn't listen.
I mean it more now.
So, thus the strike occurs. Thank you very much.
First of all, it's called Operation Midnight Hammer. That was a new detail
Midnight
for all of us.
Hammer, I am, hammer. So let's continue, here we go.
It involved a number of B-2 bombers. That was something that we were tracking, but we found out that they dropped 14 of those massive ordnance penetrators. Those are those giant bombs that we've been calling bunker busters and talking about for the last week or so.
14, just to make sure the job was done. Now, for what I know, nobody was killed. Now, that's impressive. They came late in the night, dropped those bombs. You dropped a bomb on them.
They, of course, are the ones that are about 30,000 pounds.
30,000 pounds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's about 40, though. He's about 40.
Only about 5,000 or 6,000 pounds of actual explosive. Most of that weight is made up of this very strong alloy and material on the outside of the bomb that allows it to penetrate deep into the earth before exploding. That allows it to go as far down as about 200 feet.
And we're the only ones that have this technology. So somebody had to do it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man. Look at that.
So when you look at what this looked like before June 20th, this is what the fuel enrichment facility looked like from a satellite view. Now take a look at what happened here. Every single thing that you see here has been actually changed a bit. When you look at this, the June 20th slide, take a look at the facilities up here and over here. Now look, this is gone.
Yeah. And they stayed within the guidelines. All of that gone. Now, this is like destroying an anthill. And we're going to see if they decide, well, we've been working all this time on building this big fat anthill. And here comes Kevin. When I was a kid, I couldn't avoid an anthill. I mean, for some reason, just being honorary, I had to mess it all up. Here they are working day and night. Doom, 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 doom. Oh! And here I come. Hey, Craig, look at these ants and that hill and mess it all up. And what do? Immediately start building it over again. They don't even stop for a second to go, God, dog, man, this dude, nothing. They just keep on building. So hopefully they won't act like ants and go right back in there trying to build it. Not to mention, as bad as that mug got blown up, good luck digging down there and trying to get whatever you think is still useful. Good luck on that one. So let's continue. Here we go. Thank you, by the way.
This right here is also gone. So these are the kinds of things that happen. And
Bye-bye. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Now, see, I don't know about y'all, but I sleep a little better at night, knowing that right now, they got to, even if they had to start all over, it took them this long to even get that far. So, I mean, shoot, I might not even be around by the time they get going and all this stuff. But they've been demoralized after that. I mean, imagine putting trillions of dollars in that. All these years, and then in one night, gone. All of them. That's a backbreaker right there. But not only was it a backbreaker to them, what made this even more special is it was a deterrent to anybody that might want to jump in and support them. You don't see Russia and China and all of them saying, man, y'all, usually, man, you better leave them castles, man. Hey, we about to come in off the bench. When you know you got a crazy friend or cousin, you're very cautious when it comes down to jumping in to defend them. You're going, man, my cousin just got beat up. They probably brought it on themselves. I'm still going to make them think I support them, man. That's messed up what they did to you, dog. But in your head, you're going, you the crazy cousin that would get us all killed. You the crazy cousin that can't fight, but you're talking trash all the time. You got your butt beat, and you want me to jump in? For what? That ain't my problem, but I'll make you think I care. I'll make you think I care. Man, they did what to you? That's messed up, man. Hey, man, dude, man, hey, they lucky. They lucky I wasn't there. But they don't really want to get in it. So they know what Iran is about. More quiet is kept. They're probably like, whew, Glad they didn't get a nuclear weapon. Who knows? They might look at us eventually as the infidels that need to be destroyed. So let's go ahead and see what Prince have to say, or at least a raggedy version of Prince. Look at this mop on the top of that guy's head right there.
Let's just under 30 minutes here.
So we got two sweetnesses that got the nerve to actually give credit to the strike. So we got tight knees, no base, and we got the Stoney Jackson on the set. Listen to this.
Well, one, it went longer than I anticipated, but there are four things that jumped out at me. One, the level of secrecy of this mission.
So
the fact that you had planes that flew from the continental United States, from Missouri, and flew for, I think it's 18 hours with multiple refueling.
18 hours with multiple refueling. And the level of secrecy, which is a key component to pulling this off. And it's also the reason why I was talking about the Democrats. We need to keep important things away from them. Why? Because they're evil. They would sabotage something extremely important to make Trump look bad. Do you think they wanted this to happen and it be a win for Trump? You think they wanted him to solve this major issue and walk away without, a scratch? Nah, they would have sabotaged this immediately. So yeah, it was done in secrecy. What else?
The second thing, what jumped out to me is just the execution of this massive plan involving the U.S. military, seemingly in multiple theaters. This decoy you were talking about went to the Pacific to take away from what was happening.
Beautifully done. Now, it's bad when tight knees, no base. Got to give credit. Got to give credit. So now, look at how smooth this mug was done. We got folks going, they probably like, don't worry, we're still good. They're going the opposite direction. What? They blew up? I can't believe they did. Blew it up. And so it was flawless, which also does what, y'all? Sends a signal. American strength. We're not going to tolerate this. We've been dealing with Iran for a long time, but we're not going to overcommit. We're going to get rid of the major problem. All the rest of your military action, all the rest of your little stuff, we can deal with that. Israel actually can deal with that. The fight then becomes, pretty, there we go. Even though Israel's still smacking them around. But you add a nuke to that, totally different. We're dealing with something totally different. And so what we did is we got in, we showed strength, we did it quick, we did it quietly, and we also let everybody else know we're not committed to a prolonged, war with them. We just went in, did one thing, got out of there. So therefore, all the rest of you nations that might say, oh man, y'all wrong for doing that. Y'all can't say we're warmongering and we're trying to go to war with them and a regime change. No, we just went in, and if you're smart, China, Russia, and any other country that got a problem with this, you'll recognize that you're not dealing with a president in the United States that's looking for a fight. He will pick the fight only when he's going, man, now I gotta punch you in the mouth. You think I want to be out here scrapping with you? Man, if you would have just talked this out, it wouldn't have to. It's like I said, when I was a principal. I mean, I go up in the room, do it on the phone. Hey man, put your phone away. Man, why you get the man? You always get, and I'm going, see, now it's my mission. You think I wanted this fight? I just simply wanted to negotiate with you. I wanted you to just listen and put the phone away. Now it's my mission to get that phone. One way or another, I'm getting the phone. See, and so same thing. Trump didn't want to have to do this. He would have preferred the other option. And I think all of our enemies out there sense that. They know that they're not dealing with a leader who is reckless. This was a smart decision by the Trump administration. And it also showed that, look, we're not trying to pick fights with everybody. We're one and done. Now, if y'all think it's that important to run to the defense of Iran and it's over, we did what we had to do and we're gone, it ain't going to be, we just beating them up and months go by. We're not doing that. Y'all will probably be smart by just saying, well, Iran just got beat up. Oh, man, that's messed up, Iran. Shoot, man. Dude. Anyway, man, you good? You good? That's all you can do to them. That's all you can do. You think China's going to go to war with us over Iran and their recklessness, or Russia over to Iran and their recklessness. This was a very smart decision, and how they did it left really no reason for Russia or any of the other major actors to jump in, because we were in and out, no lives were lost, and they know that, well, Trump's not trying to go to war with everybody. He really wants to just be left alone.
The other way, the other thing that jumped out at me was that...
that you got no bass in your voice? Don't think I'm gonna let you get off the hook because you up here giving us compliments. I still recognize the fact you ain't got no bass in your voice. You got no bass in your voice. Yeah, I'm gonna still pick on you. But let me get back to it, because no bass tight knees is least trying to pretend he admires our work. Here we go.
When the chairman of the Joint Chiefs said no Iranian planes flew and no shots were fired at any of the U.S. military.
So you know what that means, right, guys? That means you got beat up and didn't even throw a punch. You were not able to throw a punch. Now, why would you pick another fight? If I talk about some, man, that's it, we gonna go to war, and I get beat that bad, I wake up from getting knocked out, and they're like, Kev, are you all right? I'm like, yeah, what happened? You got knocked out. Did I win? No. Did I even land a punch? No. Did I even throw a punch in the right direction? You didn't even get to throw a punch. I mean, you just sat there with your chin wide open and got knocked out. I probably shouldn't get up and say, well, where is he at? I want some more. Let me at him. I probably will recognize if I got beat up that easily, I need to figure out a way to save face without having to go and have more confrontation with whomever just knocked me out. That demonstrated that they could beat my tail at will. So let's continue. Here we go.
Jess, all of that to me is just on from what they're telling us is rather impressive.
Donald Trump has been clear-eyed and full of resolve about the Iranian threat for 20 years. He has always said you can't have peace if Iran has a nuclear weapon. And I would also say that my observations of him over the last few months are that things are running quite smoothly over in the White House and at the Pentagon. Look what happened. The deception that was involved here, no leaks, the resolve, the precision, execution. We have a commander-in-chief right now who is decisive and who knows how to operate a government and operate a military operation with absolute precision.
And see, Scott recognizes his greatness. Unlike the debacle of pulling out of Afghanistan by Creepy Sleepy. Hey, do you think that he should be on Mount Rushmore after that catastrophe? You think our military should trust him with a decision like this? You think he would have made a decision like this? That fool and his regime gave them so much money. They probably like, thank you very much. Don't worry. We'll put this money towards making nuclear weapons. Now, once again, you have to think of the alternative. Yeah, Trump could have said, for some of my more hardline conservatives are like, yo, I don't want us to intervene at all, period. I'm going to go ahead and just stay out of this. But yet those same people, a year from now, if Iran is talking about now we got 18 nuclear weapons, would be going, why did Trump been saying he was going to deal with this years ago? He said he would never let this happen. Why didn't he stop this? They would be saying that. And they would be wondering why now we have to talk to Iran in a way that we want to make sure that, all right, look here, we don't want no nukes. We'll blow y'all up, but y'all can blow us up. And even if they can't blow us up, with nuclear weapons, everybody's at risk, especially when you're dealing with a country who one of their strategic moves is terrorism. Yeah. It ain't let's all meet on the battleground and fight it out. I see where, your military is. You see where my military is, and leave everybody else out of it. You put some nuclear weapons in the arms of terrorists and they start using those as suicide bombs. I mean, yeah, it's one thing to roll up with a suicide bomb on you. Then you just, blow up a door or something like that. You running with a nuke on your back. It's all over with. It's like, you don't want to hear Allah Akbar and somebody got a nuke on them. That's a problem. See, that ups the ante. And we would be wondering, why didn't somebody deal with this when we had a chance? Now we got to sit back and go, all right, easy. We need to talk. Y'all ain't planning nothing crazy, are you? So we don't have to worry about that right now. I'm like, whew, that's one less thing we got to worry about. And when I say worry about it, people are like, well, that's just for Israel to worry about. No, if you don't think that they got their eyes set on the rest of the infidel countries, starting off with us, you got another thing coming. So let's continue, because Scott's dropping knowledge.
The level of deterrence that this will put throughout the world, that our enemies should be perceiving, is very, very high. This is a great day for this president, and it's a great day for the world, because he's making us safe for Western civilization.
I think the foreign... Darn right. And you would think, once again, these people who, for whatever reason, pretend they hate our country, anything Trump does, no matter how great or smart it was, they want to figure out a way to make it seem like it wasn't right. He shouldn't have did it. This and this and that. And I'm saying, y'all are so non-patriotic. They disgust me. Some of these next clips you about to see, in my head, I'm hearing, oh, Kevin was kung fu fighting.
So the minister is exactly wrong. We didn't blow up diplomacy. We only took this action, Kristen, when it was clear, as the president said, that the Iranians were tapping us along. I think it's important for the American people to appreciate here that if you go back to March of this year, we had the entire administration engaged in this diplomatic effort. And frankly, in March of this year, we had some optimism. How do we get from there to now? And the answer is we felt very strongly that the Iranians were stonewalling us.
There you go. So it's not as if Trump just woke up today and was like, all right, then let's just go to war, bomb them. No, we've had a chance to witness this ongoing saga for years. So I don't understand why hardcore, isolationists on our side was upset about this. I'm saying, where have you been? I mean, we all saw the Obama debacle and that horrific deal. Then we saw Trump come in and rip it up. And even when he was out of office, he was still saying, man, we can't let this happen. He's been saying this for years. Then he gets back into office, and they knew when he got back in, like, oh boy, here we go. This guy is going to be in our grill. Like, all right, now that I'm back, let's get right back to what we was talking about. Those nuclear weapons. Y'all still working on them? Y'all better come on. We need to work this out. Now, you know what Iran was doing. Give us a little more time. Don't worry. We think about it. We come back later. We discuss it. Now, you think that's what they were dragging us along. We knew it. Trump's smart enough to know it. And something had to be done.
Weren't taking this seriously. They were trying to draw this process out as long as possible so that they could rebuild their nuclear weapons program without the threat of American action. We had a limited window in which we could take out this Fordo nuclear facility in particular. The president decided to take it, but we didn't blow up the diplomacy. The diplomacy never was given a real chance by the Iranians. And our hope, Kristen, as the president said repeatedly, is that this maybe can reset here. The Iranians have a choice. They can go down the path of peace, or they can go down the path of this ridiculous brinksmanship of funding terrorism, of trying to build a nuclear weapon, and that's just not something the United States can accept.
And see, the other issue is that Iran has had their hands in all of these things. I mean, it's not like, look, you take North Korea. Yeah, they might be working on their own nuclear program, but they're not out there just stirring the pot all across the world. They're not religiously motivated. They're not out there, having folks commit acts of terrorism, at least that we know of. They more so like, all right, our nukes is just for our protection. And so y'all don't try to come over and overthrow our regime. But when you look at Iran, as they're building nukes, they got their hands in all of this terrorism. And I'm going, you are a problem. You are a trouble starter. You're not quiet on the down low working on something secretly in your basement. No, you're out there stirring the pot, showing us that even without nuclear weapons, you want destruction. You want to have your hands in all kind of chaos. Now, you throw some nukes in your hands? And I'm going, whoa, that's a whole different ball game. So, I think what J.D. Vance is saying there is that, in life, sometimes you got to make a choice because you only have a short or small window. And it can be crucial. It could determine the future, of whatever. And that moment was what Trump took. He took advantage of it. He's like, look, we got a small window. Let's do it. This way, right now, let's get this out the way early in my presidency. And hopefully we don't have to worry about Iran the rest of the way. Okay? Cripple their main goal and agenda with that nuclear weapon. Cripple that. And hopefully they'll simmer down. So let's continue because the fake news, they're trying to find a flaw in the program. Here we go.
I want to say something, Kristen, just to the Iranian leadership. Look, they have tried to build a nuclear weapons program. That program is now destroyed. They tried to build a conventional missile program to attack neighbors in the region. That missile program has shown to be a failure.
Wow. Man, so it looks like Iran got exposed. You know, all the posturing and stuff like that with the military, I think they just got exposed to really not being that great. Can't fight. They're that person who just knows how to go through all of the katas. Here you are, I'm a black belt in karate, but you really can't fight. Yeah, you're a black belt because you know how to go out there like, hey, 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 hey. Great kata, great kata. Ain't hit nothing, ain't punched nobody, nobody threw a punch at you. But you look good with all of the moves. Hey, hey, hey. Like Dragonfly Jones off of Martin. I will show you how to attack and disable your opponent. Helpless, punk, not in front of masters, your pay, silence. And can't fight. Can't fight whatsoever. Hey, getting beat up. So, yeah, they got exposed, and this is the opportunity now for them to go, we might not want to push it. Okay? We don't want to push it, so let's continue.
They have funded terrorism aggressively in the region, and now most of their terrorism proxies are destroyed. The Iranians are clearly not very good at war. Perhaps they should follow President Trump's lead and give peace a chance. If they're serious about it, I guarantee you the President of the United States is too.
And that's the awesome thing about Trump. We know he wants peace. He wants peace. I mean, look at the whole thing with Russia and Ukraine. He don't have to get involved in that. That's their problems. I mean, you know, that don't involve nuclear weapons. You know, I mean, dang on Zelensky is a pain in the butt. He's a hard head, you know, and I mean, Trump could have easily been like, man, forget that. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Either Russia just end up crushing them or whatever happens. And he's still, in the midst of all the stuff he has to juggle, he's still concerned about that. You know, now what's his goal? What does he get out of that? You know, he's like, look, man, I just want folks to stop dying. Of course, we probably could work out some stuff where if everybody stops fighting, we can all get paid. That's his real goal and agenda. America first. If everybody simmered down, stop trying to invade everybody else, stop trying to kill folks for religious beliefs, yeah, all of that, we can all start trading and making money, as long as y'all treat us fairly. Yeah, that's all we got to do. So Trump is all about peace, you know, but through strength. And unfortunately, he had to demonstrate strength. Let's hear what this fine gentleman right here has to say. I'm glad he's not Lloyd Austin coming out with his LGBT colors on and his big shield. I'm glad he's not Lloyd Austin or Milli Vanilli.
On the president's orders, U.S. Central Command, under the command of General Eric Kurilla, executed Operation Midnight Hammer, a deliberate and precise strike against 3 Iranian nuclear facilities. This was a complex and high-risk mission carried out with exceptional skill and discipline by our joint force.
Wow, listen to that.
I want to thank every service member, planner, operator that made this mission possible.
Okay.
Their actions reflect the highest standards of the United States Armed Forces.
Yes.
This operation was designed to severely degrade Iran's nuclear weapons infrastructure. Okay. It was planned and executed across multiple domains and theaters with coordination that reflects our ability to project power globally with speed and precision at the time and place of our nation's choosing.
Now, did y'all hear that? Speed, agility at our choosing. See? Now, isn't it odd that all of these countries that are trying to compete with the U.S. militarily, they still just can't get it right? We still got the edge over them when it comes down to technology, and I want to keep that. I'd rather be on the team of the bully than the bully. Yeah, man. And if you got a good president, he's not going to use our technology just to bully folks to show that we'll do stuff just because you're littler than us. No, it's don't make us do it. We would prefer not to. Yeah, man, don't do it. So I'm loving the fact that I'm sure all these other countries said, whoa, they pulled that mess off beautifully. Not only are they the only country that got the bombs that could have destroyed that facility, they also got the technology to go in undercover, middle of the night, quietly, and pull it off. That's like somebody coming into your house while you sleep and they just leave a note right on your chest. Like, I came in, I could have killed you, just letting you know. You wake up the next morning like, what the? I can't believe that dude came in my house and set a note on my chest to let me know I could have killed you. You got to fear that person. You're like, how in the world did they do that? So let's continue though.
This was a highly classified mission with very few people in Washington knowing the timing or nature of this plan.
Now, did y'all hear that? That is key to the rest of my live stream. Very few people in Washington knew about this. So let's continue. I wonder why. I wonder why that was important. Because this, look at this, guys. So, the Crockett and AOC, they were complaining that they were given, that they were, I'm reading it backwards, given no intelligence. These two right here, two of the least intelligent people were whining about they didn't get no intelligence concerning this airstrike. Now, do you think these two are qualified? Not only are they not qualified, but they're too evil. See, they're too partisan. They're too reckless. And not just them, but every single Democrat would have been a threat to the operation because of their Trump derangement syndrome. They don't look at what's best for the country or Israel. They're looking at what's best for their party. And you know what isn't good for their party? It's Trump doing something historical like this. That's not good for their party. They would have loved to see this flopped. And the sad part about it, they would have been okay with putting lives at danger just to sabotage this. They'd have been okay with it. They would have been like, you know what? We're going to go out there, leak this, do whatever. We don't care if Iran retaliates, blows one of our ships out the air, long as Trump don't succeed, because then we'll be able to criticize him. Look, he made a stupid decision. He got our servicemen blown up. I mean, we lost a stealth fighter, and he should have never. They would have loved to have that to go ahead and throw mud on Trump's campaign when it comes down to this. So these two dodo birds are whining that they have no intelligence, and they are right. They have no intelligence whatsoever. So yeah, they're too unserious. The whole Democrat Party. They're unserious about anything. They're not trying to solve problems, and they hate Trump so much they would have put the whole operation in danger. So let's continue and hear what they decided to do against Trump because of him not telling these two dummies about the plan.
Go back in on Monday. You could have hollered at us on Monday. If you truly felt like there was something, like, there is nothing that they will say that will make me believe that this action needed to take place.
Now see, right off there. So why do you need the intelligence? Why did this dumb person with the lazy eye, the one with the lashes right here, there was nothing they could have told me that would have made me think that this needed to take place. There you go. So why even bring you involved? That's what I mean. These Democrats are untrustworthy and they don't need to be involved in serious stuff. They operate like kids. Would you bring kids in? All right, kids, I'm thinking about buying a new house and the mortgaging all of our assets and this and that. What do you think? I'm 5. Do I get a Barbie and the Ken doll in the house? You're like, I don't know why I asked you. Anyway, we're just going to go ahead and make the decision because you guys are kids. So now this chick then went out here on TV. She don't even realize she just said, there's nothing they could have told me. I don't care what they would have showed her. She would have been like, nope. I don't think we need to. Just to oppose Trump. You think she takes these matters seriously? She probably don't even know where Iran is.
And it needed to take place without the consultation of the Congress.
So you guys can go right out there and tell, yeah, that's it. Go out here and make this decision. All right, that we're all having a conference. We want to talk about whether we should bomb the nuclear sites in Iran. Everybody, let's do a roll call. Everybody would know then. See, so now they want to pretend that Trump didn't do something within his purview. And I'm saying, are you kidding me? That's how the military should operate unless we are declaring war on a whole country. But according to her, Jasmine Crockett needed to be involved so she could give her wonderful insight on whether we should have done this or not. How do you think that would have went? Arguing the whole time? Throwing out anything. You don't know if Iran did this, and you don't know this and this and that, and this is because of racism, and this and this. That would have happened the whole time. You cannot trust Congress to sit back and debate these things, especially right now.
All right.
Washington knows it. I know it. We all know it. That's not going anywhere.
Yeah, because see, AOC said Trump needs to get impeached, y'all. He overstepped his powers. He went ahead out there. Now, every couple seconds, they're talking about impeachment. He needs to get impeached because he's out there locking up illegal immigrants and taking them out of. He needs to get impeached because he's going Doge. And now he needs to get impeached because he solved a major problem. Now, at what point do they just recognize Trump's greatness? He just goes out there and solves a major problem. And as of now, it appeared to be pulled off flawlessly. What are they talking about? Impeachment. This is how dumb the Democrats are. Everybody should be looking at this. This is the time for patriotism. This is a time to really show support to our ally Israel. They don't care nothing about Israel. They're just like, man, I don't care if this helps Israel. I don't care if it solves an ongoing dangerous problem. We'd rather the problem. We'd rather them get nukes than Trump go ahead and solve something like this. That's how foul they are. And all people, Fetterman comes out and he calls her out.
He's been impeached twice, and now he's still our president as well now, too.
And they want us to take them seriously. They want to be involved in major decision making. Impeached twice. They done wrote up articles more than that. You had the Indian dude write up articles. Now you had what's the dude who looked like Wolfman Jack? Him, the Neanderthal man. He done wrote him up. Now everybody, they all want impeachment. Do they think we take them seriously when they have abused the impeachment process so just carelessly and recklessly every couple days? Impeachment. We got to get rid of him because we can't beat him. We got to tarnish him because right now, this guy right here, if you're smart, you'll be able to recognize the greatness of Trump. And if he remains on this course, he will go down as the greatest of all time. Let's continue.
It's not going anywhere, and I don't think that's helpful. And I think if you throw that term around, that actually diminishes the severity of what impeachment is really reserved for.
There have been a bunch
of... Now, you know it's bad. When even the leftists are able to recognize the hypocrisy when it comes down to these Democrats. They just can't get on board with America first. They can't get on board with, something great taking place that all Americans and especially people in Congress should say, yeah, that was a good deal. That was a good decision. It worked out perfectly. They just can't do it. So they would rather show a divide amongst, American politicians when it comes down to such a threat as Iran getting nuclear weapons. So what was their decision? What do you think they should have thought? We should just let them go ahead and continue enriching that uranium until they actually prove that they got a nuclear bomb. They would have addressed it like they did that border. Keep letting people in until one of them actually kill somebody. Then we'll know. Then we'll know if they're dangerous. It's too late then. That's how they operate. Let's go ahead, let it all happen, and then go, I guess you were right. They were building nuclear weapons. Please don't start using those for terrorism. It's too late then. But that's exactly what they would have let happen if you left it up to them. And so now, they're getting called out with the hypocrisy from who?
Presidents who have ordered strikes without congressional approval. Barack Obama did it against Libya. Joe Biden ordered strikes in Iraq and Syria without.
Where were they all at then?
Bill Clinton did it to Kosovo.
Yeah, the hypocrisy. Just like Obama, when he deported all those people, where were they then? Where were they saying he's disappearing people in the middle of the night? Where were they? Oh, nowhere to be found? Let's continue.
I think you pronounced it. So presidents ordering military action without congressional approval have become pretty routine.
The Democrats are calling, or at least some of them, are calling for the impeachment of Donald Trump. Same old song and dance.
Same old song and dance. You know it's bad when you done burnt your bridges with Stephen A. Smith and Charlemagne the dummy. And when they're going same old, they don't know that. They don't get that. They're so unserious that they are like the kid who cried wolf. Every couple weeks, man, that impeachment, no matter what Trump does, no matter how great it is, they will never recognize his greatness. It's built into them. They're like, that wasn't that good. I don't know why everybody acting like he did something. He ain't do nothing. Y'all sound like little kids that's hating. Jealous people who just can't give even a golf clap. Not even a golf clap like that. That was all right. That was good. Just can't do it. So now Stephen Smith even recognizing it.
I thought we heard this before. I thought that was over and done with. The minute you lost the election with the popular vote in the electoral college vote and losing every swing state. I thought we were over that. Question number one. No matter what you feel about the President of the United States, do you think that's the time, while we're in the middle of such strife, to be calling for the impeachment of the President of the United States?
Absolutely. That's how foul they are. That's how much of a traitor they are to our country. They hate Trump that much where they will undermine something like this. They give so much leverage to our enemies to be able to say, look, that Trump was wrong. They might as well just go ahead and side with Iran. They might as well just say, you know what, Iran, we support you, supreme leader. What else you want? That's how foul they are. And I'm saying, y'all pick the worst moments ever to go ahead and try to hate on Trump. Here we are, pulling off a wonderful operation that all of us should be proud of. Our military should be celebrated. You know, our ability and capability to go in and do this and pretty much come out of it unscathed at all. You would think that's an opportunity for say, we're so proud of our president, we're proud of our military. What do they do? What is Trump doing? We should impeach him for this. So now what does that do? To any enemy, Iran and all them. Look, even their own people say that he should be impeached. That's how foul they are. They don't stop to think of the optics of that. All they are blinded by their hatred of Trump, and they don't care. Pick the worst time. Didn't even let it simmer down. Didn't even let the planes get back home. And they're talking about impeachment.
Particularly if you're a representative, you're an elected official in the United States of America. I don't think so. That's number one. Number two, were the Democrats saying that when Obama bombed Libya?
Ooh.
When he was in office?
Ooh.
This is eradicating a threat.
Ooh.
Civilians weren't targeted. Nuclear sites were targeted.
Bam! Now, why can't a non-politician liberal like Stephen A. Smith know that? And the Democrats don't. Why are they pretending that they don't recognize that we can pull off a one-time deal like this under the presidency without declaring war? Why are they acting dumb? See, they are trying to take advantage of their dumb followers, voters, and all of that stuff because they do it all the time. Trump right now is abusing his power by sending in the National Guard to straighten out the streets that we let get out of control. Trump is abusing his power by taking these people out of the courthouse and taking them right there and making them disappear and all that. He's abusing his power. The whole goal is to try to make it seem like Trump is this radical, crazy dictator who's just doing stuff, rogue, outside of his purview, outside of his constitutional authority. That's the goal. Even if it is very obvious that this isn't the situation like that. Yeah, I mean, nobody got killed? What? You gotta be kidding me. You mean tell me we're not gonna stick around and occupy Iran? No? So we just hit it and bounce, solve the problem, got back home safely, and y'all want to impeach him.
You can navigate your way around the War Powers Act itself, and you don't have to concern yourself with receiving congressional approval. The Democrats know that because of Obama.
Thank you.
If you knew that because of Obama, and you didn't say it when it involved him in Libya, why would you turn around and all of a sudden try to make that case against Donald Trump?
Because they're evil. Because they're so partisan. Because they're like kids. Because that party sucks. Absolutely sucks. Unbelievable, man.
She wrote tonight.
Nancy Pelosi. Listen to what Nasty said, y'all. Y'all ready? She's back, y'all. Now, she didn't come out and say it. She wrote something because, Nasty is concerned. So let's listen to Mush Mouth Bag of Bones, Monkey Paw Hands Pelosi. Mm-hmm. Yes. while she was writing this little note, I'm sure that she was motivated by her medicine. That's right, Nasty. Before I use my monkey paw to write this evil response, I better go ahead and take my medicine. Oh, yes. Oh, that's good, Nasty. That's good. So let's see what Nasty had to say.
President ignored the Constitution by unilaterally engaging in our military without congressional authorization. I join my colleagues in demanding that answers from the administration on this operation, which endangers American lives.
Endangers American lives. All this stuff. See? All of the hyperbole. All of the fear-mongering. How did it endanger American lives? You know what I thought endangered American lives? The first time Trump won, you guys lying about him being a Russian agent and trying to vet him against Putin, trying to goat him into overcommitting into some type of war. Were you saying that when you tried to encourage him to go ahead and bomb Iran over that drone that was shot down? Were you saying it endangers that? Y'all were willing to make Trump overcompensate to show everybody he wasn't a Putin puppet and stuff like that. Y'all would have been okay with us going to war with Russia, just so y'all can say, look what he did. See, I told you he's crazy, he's reckless. I told you he's going to take us to World War III. They would rather see chaos break out that could really harm America than to see Trump succeed. Instead of recognizing his greatness, this guy's knocking it out the park. He's handling all of these major issues all over the place that y'all done flubbed up over the years.
And risks further escalation and dangerous destabilization of the region.
Madam Speaker, the destabilization of the region. So having nuclear bombs, that wouldn't destabilize the region, Nasty? Now, you know what we do. We got receipts. Here's Nasty when they were asking her about Obama. Let's see what she had to say.
Madam Leader, you're saying that the president did not need authorization initially and still does not need any authorization from Congress on Libya?
Yes.
Oh, snap. Yes. Well, why was it yes then and not now? Oh, that's different. It's different now. It's different because, D for Democrats means different. But look, here's somebody who actually grew up in Iran. See, this is somebody who actually knows the mentality of these people. Now, they're not going to stop. And just like the Terminator was programmed to go after Sarah Connors and just would not quit. It was in the bone. Well, she's letting us know that no matter what they say, how they pretend to negotiate, how much they drug it out, they had one mission.
You know, what Americans need to understand is that the Iranian regime's ultimate ambition is not the annihilation of just Israel, but of what they call the Great Satan,
the Great
America.
Satan.
I remember.
You hear that? Yeah, now we're the white devil. The Great Satan, America. So if we're the Great Satan, Israel's what, the little Satan?
When I was a kid in Tehran in school, chanting "Death to America."
The kids, y'all hear that? So while our Democrats got our kids over here pledging allegiance to the LGBT flag and listening to the transgender on the bus and all of that stuff, yeah, over there, yeah, death to America. There you go. That's the first thing we're going to start off with. Let's get some death to America going, kids. How many of y'all want to grow up to be a, bomber? Me? Great. You're going to go to see 9 Virgins. Yeah, this is the serious business when they're programming the kids to say it.
Every morning. That is their agenda. And Trump's efforts in ending the regime's nuclear ambition is an America First position. But so many on the right don't see it that way.
Yeah, and I disagree with them. I love them. We have disagreements on the right. The way I saw it was, Trump sees that these folks ain't gonna stop. He knows bull crap when he sees it. We all know. I guess that's why we know the Democrats are horrible. We know bull crap when we see it. So we knew that Iran ain't trying to give up that. You think they would put all this time, effort, and money in building that program that deep underground just to say, all right, Trump, we're going to go ahead and disassemble it, give you guys access to it to make sure that we're not working on a nuke. And just because it's way down here don't mean we're trying to make a nuclear bomb. Hey, everybody builds it like that 7 floors down, stories down. Everybody does that. Everybody enriches the uranium at 60+%. Yeah, everybody does it that way. So what, we're supposed to be stupid?
Are you saying there that the
Like this woman. like this woman. Watch this, y'all. Because Marco Rubio is about to reveal how stupid and anti-American she is.
United States did not see intelligence that the Supreme Leader had ordered weaponization.
See? Want to make it look like we just did something off script, rogue. We just guessed. We just had a hunch. See? Always. Now, remember, guys, if this was Obama, why did Obama need to even make that raggedy deal with Iran if he was not worried about them developing a nuclear weapon? Yeah. So if it was back then, them almost having a nuke to where we came up with that raggedy behind deal, what makes you think right now that they ain't closer? Especially having 4 years of Biden not doing nothing and giving them billions of dollars to fund it. And here she is. So was there any intelligence? Did you guys just make a decision off of your gut?
That's irrelevant. I see that question being asked in the media. That's an irrelevant question.
That is the key point in U.S. intelligence assessments. You know that.
No, it's not.
Here we go. Yeah. Just can't get on board. Can't say that was a great death. That's just again, something got to be wrong with it. See, that's the thing. We want to find out something. We got to make it seem like Trump just off the chain and off the hook. He's not. Yeah. Do you see how they are? And it burns me up. I'm watching this. I'm going, you people.
Well, no, it's not. The political decision
I know that better than you know that, and I know that that's not the case.
But I'm asking you whether the order was given.
And the people who say that, it doesn't matter if the order was given. They have everything they need to build nuclear weapons. Why would you bury things in a mountain, 300 feet under the ground?
Right.
Why would you bury why do they have 60% enriched uranium? You don't need 60% enriched uranium. The only countries in the world that have uranium at 60% are countries that have nuclear weapons.
Bam! Smack her in the face with all of that logic and common sense. My next door neighbor's been threatening me for years that he was going to finally unalive me. And, I've been watching him dig trenches and he's bringing in ammo every night. I hear him out there in the backyard target practicing with my face. He got a picture of me. He got a picture of me in the back on a tree with me smiling like this. And he's shooting it every night. While also telling me, death to Kevin. But hey, I don't have enough evidence that he's actually preparing to go to war with Kev. I don't have enough evidence. Nah, I'm going to wait until he actually comes out with all the big guns. Then I guess he was preparing to go to war against me. That's what that ammo meant. Unbelievable, these people. Trying to still find some way to make this look bad.
Because they can just quickly make it 90. They have all the elements. Why do they have a space program? Is Iran going to go to the moon? No. They're trying to build an ICBM.
No, but that's a question. That's a question of intent, and you know in the intelligence assessment that it was that Iran wanted to be a threshold state and use this.
Trying to make excuses for Iran. Trying to make Iran look like the victim. See, this is how anti-American this darn station and many other fake news networks are. They would rather make Iran looked like the victim. Yeah, that's what they want to do. Like we were the bully. Trump just did it. They'd rather do that. And Marco is not having it.
Leverage. I'm talking about the public march.
Yeah, how do you know what the intelligence said? Because we got leakers.
Assessment. And that's why I was asking you if you know something more from March.
That's also an inaccurate representation of it. That's an accurate representation of it. That's not how intelligence is read. That's not how intelligence is used. Here's what the whole world knows. Forget about intelligence.
Yeah.
What the IAEA knows.
Shut her down.
They are enriching uranium well beyond anything you need for a civil nuclear program. So why would you enrich uranium at 60%? Right. If you don't intend to one day use it to take it to 90 and build a weapon. Right. Why are you developing ICBMs? Why do you have 8,000 short-range missiles and 2,000 to 3,000 long mid-range missiles that you continue to develop? Why do you do all these things?
Just fart around, target practice, just to say, look what we can do. We built this stuff, but we're not going to use it. Even though the only use for it would be to stick a missile on the tip of those rockets. That we're not going to, even though we're at 60% enrichment, but we're not going to make a nuclear bomb. We just want to see how much enrichment we can make. That's all we can do. We didn't have to build this thing like 9 stories deep, but you know what, we thought it'd be cooler. It'd be cooler down there. Want to make sure that they're down there nice and cool. So this woman is trying to pretend that You know, all of these facts, surrounding facts, mean nothing. And we want you to see, we wanted to know if y'all actually saw a nuclear bomb down there. That's what we wanted. And the only way that this would make sense is y'all say, we saw one with our eyes, man. We saw one. Unreal.
Everything they need for a nuclear weapon. They have the delivery mechanisms, they have the enrichment capability, they have the highly enriched uranium.
Shut her down.
That's all we need to see.
Bam!
Well, and
Especially in the
so
hands
was
of
the
a regime that's already involved in terrorism and proxies and all kinds of things around. They're the source of all
Yes, and no one's disputing.
I don't know what disputing that, but I'm trying to undermine it. I thought we're not disputing, even though we know all of those facts even existed under the Obama when he made that raggedy deal. Now all of a sudden we say we need more evidence. We need more evidence and stuff because it's Trump.
No one's disputing that. I'm not doing that here.
Yes,
and they were.
I'm undermining it. I want to make it seem like the operation was flawed. It was reckless. It wasn't based on real data. That for all we know, they were just using the nuclear energy to supply their. Are you kidding me?
Were censured at the IAEA for that enrichment and for violating their non-proliferation agreements. I was simply asking if we had intelligence
asking for the
that
intelligence.
there was an order to weaponize, because you said weaponization ambitions.
Well, we
which
have
implies
intelligence that they have
weren't
everything
doing
they
it.
need to build a nuclear weapon, and that's more than enough.
Thank you. Thank you.
It is Islamo-Nazi terrorism. Whether it's in Iran, whether it's in parts of Egypt, wherever it is, they want to kill us. They've been wanting to kill us since long before the other day when we hit those sites, that is last night. And they're going to continue to try and kill us. People don't understand. They don't have the Western mindset. They have the Islamo-Nazi mindset, which is kill the Jews, kill the Christians, kill Muslims who don't agree with us, kill the Hindus, kill the Buddhists, kill the West, kill the Americans, kill until we control the world.
Killing is my business, ladies, and business is good.
Well, I mean, Mark was adamant. He's passionate about that. Now, I mean, some people would disagree with Mark, but the bottom line is that's true. Now, we're talking about the regime. We're talking about the fanatics who's running the country. And it's sad that oftentimes, and we know this because we were victims of it, oftentimes the people are subject to stupid leaders who just put them in a bad situation, who got bad ideology, who makes them look bad on the global stage, like Biden and all the Democrats made us look for 4 years. So it's sad because I'm sure a lot of Iranians are probably like, man, we're not that radical. We don't want to see death to everybody. We just want to. But when you're dealing with the folks who's running the country and they have been adamant about pushing this, you gotta conclude that they probably mean it. And they're not even trying to hide it. They're very obvious about who they hate and their religious agenda and goal. And I'm going, ooh, only thing that can override, besides, mental problems where people get depressed and they do things crazy and reckless with their own lives. But when it comes down to a so-called, sane or rational person, it goes against your nature to say, I'm going to self-delete just because, I'm not depressed, I'm not whatever, I'm just going to self-delete. Only thing that usually can override that and make you think it's something greater, that awaits you is that you have a strong religious ideology. Now, imagine if your religious ideology says that by doing this and destroying a whole bunch of other people who don't believe what you believe, you will actually go to whatever paradise and these things will happen. Once you buy into that, the finality of death is not what you're thinking. Man, if I do this and I get a benefit, you take away that religious ideology. It's like, man, I'm staying down here because in my mind, this is as good as it gets. I'm going to enjoy my ride while I'm here. But when you say, hey, you could cut your ride short and go to a better ride based on these religious beliefs. And when that gets sunk in, man, the hardest enemy to deal with is an enemy that's willing to die to kill you. I mean, it's hard to stop him. You shoot them, they still running. How do you think the Japanese during World War I, the reason we had to come up with the 1911 45 is because the Japanese would run full speed into the foxhole, and as they're coming, they were shooting them, and they were still running. Got zooted up a little bit on some opium, and then banzai, ran, and they shooting them, and they just keep coming. And you're like, man, it's hard to deal with an enemy who's like, I know I'm gonna die, but I'm a full-blown take everybody with me. So we don't want that type of enemy walking around with nuclear weapons. That's definitely what we don't need.
Let Iran have nuclear weapons.
Now look at this. Just for those who think that Trump just woke up today and said this, look at all these times.
My only thing I have to tell you today, don't let them have it. They would have never had them, including Iran. They can't have a nuclear weapon. So they can't have nuclear weapons. It's too destructive, too powerful. They can't have it. But I wanted to make a deal with them. No nuclear weapons. You can't have nuclear weapons.
Now, that don't sound like a guy who is trigger happy. That sounds like a person who was very open and honest for years and said, look, this is the only thing, man. The only thing. But Iran knows that's the only thing that would back a whole bunch of other countries up off of them. And that's one of the things that could launch a serious mess if they use one of those. So we're going to go ahead and shut it down because they want Trump to fail. So Trump goes ahead and he does this. Iran responds by blowing up some stuff that means nothing. And then there was a ceasefire, y'all. Now, that is the last thing that the Democrats wanted to hear. After saying things like, well, Trump, that he didn't consult with us, that Trump put American lives in danger, Trump made us go to war. Oh, what, we weren't at war? It was just a war. Okay, well, what else can we say? Trump said it was a ceasefire, and it's not a ceasefire. But wait, here we go, y'all. Let's see.
Yesterday.
Now, common wisdom about this president, about the political movement that he leads.
You see, they done brought out the cow with all of this negativity, all of this, trying to make it seem like, just straight lying. Listen to all of this garbage. Now, she just can't come out and say this was good. Trump took away a major problem. So listen to this.
Is that he is supposedly isolationist, that he is supposedly anti-war. That has never been exactly right. That's always been kind of a lazy common wisdom.
Now, you weren't ready for her evidence of this? He's supposed to be isolationist. He's supposed to be anti-war, which isn't exactly right. So then tell us, Mad Cow, give us the evidence of Trump saying, let's go to war and occupy. Let's go ahead and... So here's our evidence.
In less than 6 months back in office, he has threatened military action against Panama.
Lies. Lies.
Against Canada.
Lies.
Against Denmark.
Lies.
In order to seize Greenland. He has bombed Yemen over and over.
That were attacking our ships and stuff like that? You mean them?
And now he appears to have entered the United States military into a war in Iran.
Another lie. You hear that? Now, I'm telling you, remember, there's a cost to pay. There's a cost to pay for the spreading lies and misinformation. What happened to that, big nose? Just straight up lied through that whole little montage to try to make it seem like Trump done drug us into some mess. So now, guys, allegedly we're at war with Iran. I didn't know that. I guess Trump didn't know that either.
Something that neoconservatives have thrilled to for, I guess, 2 generations now. We are now in war with Iran.
Are we really?
The next day.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Ingram Angle. I'm Laura Ingram, my angle in moments. But first, tonight, we begin with major breaking news.
What is it?
It's a development that few thought was possible even a few days ago.
What?
But with President Trump in charge, we've seen time and time again, the so-called experts are proven wrong.
All the time.
President Trump says Israel and Iran have agreed to a full ceasefire taking effect in just a few hours.
Wow. So now, wait a minute, guys. It seemed as if Trump pulled this off flawlessly and had a win because they would have loved to see us get into a long, drawn-out war so they can blame Trump for being a warmonger or something. But wait, it looked like something happened and went wrong, too. So they had another mature celebration on the non-ceasefire. So here we go.
Just... I think I'm going to have to hand this off.
Yeah, you should have handed it off a long time ago.
Sorry. That doesn't procrastinate.
Wait! There's more!
There's more?
Now, we're hearing incredibly optimistic views coming out of the White House as far as how long this can hold and what this is going to look like. That obviously still remains to be seen on the implementation side of this. And
yeah. Now, see, this is when they were, Trump first came out and said it was a ceasefire. They're still kind of toying around with it. They almost got a little negative tone in their voice about it, and some skepticism about it. They don't believe it. They're going, I mean, that's what Trump says, but you never know when it's him.
Waiting to see if the firing does stop and if Iran and Israel do both agree to this. Because, speaking of the fluidity of the situation, it was just 24 hours ago that President Trump himself was suggesting a regime change in Iran.
Was he?
And so the question is whether or not this still holds for the next few hours.
Caitlin, I just been given word that Iran, according to a diplomat who briefed CNN, Iran has agreed to the ceasefire.
Oh, I bet you that hurt.
Think about that.
But wait a minute.
This is significant. I just want to try to learn some more information as soon as we get it about that. But if that is the case, that's incredibly significant because we were waiting.
Yeah, if that's the case, it's incredibly significant because that would mean Trump accomplished a goal and agenda that everybody was like, oh God, this is going to be really bad. And it didn't turn out really bad. In fact, it led to something good. And we can't have that. We need to hope some bad stuff. Hey, we need some bad juju. I want all the Democrats, I'm sure they all got together in their chants. They had their long black robes with their hoods down there in the basement. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and hail some evil. Satan, help us break the peace treaty and all of that stuff, the ceasefire.
Had not heard from Iran. We had not heard from Israel. All we were going on so far has been the president's social media post, which was some 2 hours ago.
Ceasefire failed. Donald Trump's...
Now look at this. Yeah, apparently it failed, y'all. And listen to the glee from the media. Look how quick they were to come out. The peace. Now, you would think they would be wanting the ceasefire to occur. You would be thinking they would be rooting for Trump's negotiations to go ahead and lead to a ceasefire. But instead, I detect a little gloating in their voices. Listen to this.
Promise of peace wavers as Iran strikes again.
Tehran will tremble. That's the threat from Israel, which has already ordered more strikes on the city, accusing Iran of breaching Trump's ceasefire deal just hours after it came into effect.
Tonight, the ceasefire between Israel and Iran appears to be already over.
The ceasefire between Israel and Iran that had been declared by the US President Donald Trump appears to be over after just 4 hours.
Might be a couple of people in Iran who decided on their own. Members of the Republican Guard or the Iranian military who decided to launch this. Their communication system is definitely not intact. So we're going to probably wait and see what happens. I don't think those two missiles did any damage.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you think that those folks who were just covering that, how do you think maybe the Democrats or the fake news feel about that ceasefire? You think they want that? I mean, that would only make Trump look good. You think they care about all the lives that could be saved? No. I mean, they haven't cared about lives being saved in almost every serious situation. For example, they don't care how many Ukrainians get killed. Long as they're getting their money funneled through or whatever, and this and that, and they're pushing their globalism, they don't care if all the young men in Ukraine gets killed. They don't care about that. Keep it going, okay? Or another example, you think they care about all of the folks who were victims of these illegal immigration ploy and all of the victims of fentanyl and all of this? You think they care about those lives? Democrats don't give a darn. It's all about their agenda. The lives be damned. So they would have rather this ceasefire to, collapse so they can say Trump doesn't, he ain't got the pull that he thought he had. Look, it only led to more chaos. He didn't solve a problem. He didn't stop nothing. So in the midst of their ability to celebrate, because Trump really cares about stopping this mess, Trump does what Trump does, solves problems.
I think they both violated it. I don't think I'm not sure they did it intentionally. They couldn't rein people back. I don't like the fact that Israel went out this morning at all, and I'm going to see if I can stop it. So as soon as I get away from you, I'm going to see if I can stop it. Okay?
Now, that sounds like a leader. He gets wind that it popped up again. And he said, look, I don't like it, whether it's Israel or Iran. I mean, we took away the major issue that those nukes, y'all done crippled Iran. This is a good time to figure out a way to de-escalate. And so he, instead of just saying, hey, that ain't got nothing to do with me, let him go ahead. We solved that. We could have easily walked away from this by saying, look, our whole interest was those nukes. We got rid of that. Let these dudes fight it out as long as they want to. I don't care. But a real leader does what?
You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing. You understand that?
Now you know it's bad. When Trump dropped the F-bomb, now here he is. He worked so hard to go ahead and make it safe for us when it comes down to those potential nukes and Israel and many other countries who might have been victim of that if they'd have got those. And so he's like, I'm calling out everybody. They need to shut this mess down. Now, you think Joe Biden could have did this? You think Joe Biden would have had the ability to pull off this? You think he'd have had the influence to go ahead and say, hey, look, instead of me acting like it's out of my hands, let me go ahead to the G7. Let me go ahead. No, what he's going to do is stop, make a phone call, and see what happens.
There's a missile was launched a couple of minutes afterwards, which went nowhere, did nothing. And there was going to be a retaliation this morning.
I know it's hard to hear, but he said he called Netanyahu.
We are told.
And guess what? He called Netanyahu, and guess what? They turned them planes around. So we're back to the ceasefire. Yeah, the Dems and the left started celebrating prematurely. Already the ceasefire has, and now we're back to the ceasefire. Now, that goes to show the influence in the pool that Trump has. And the fact that he cares enough to actually say, man, as much as I got going on, all of the stuff that I got to be doing, I'm dealing with this, I'm dealing with that, I'm dealing with it, and I got to solve y'all problem. I got to break y'all up. This is a leader. That's why I say, when are they going to recognize his greatness? He's like, I got to solve trade. I got to solve you guys over there bickering and stuff after I just solved the big problem. Yeah, I got to deal with the border. I got to deal with... Beautiful. Beautiful, man. And you would think all of those fake behind Democrats and these folks in the media would celebrate it. But listen.
Is that based on the assessment of the damage that...
See, so if they couldn't, boast about the ceasefire being off and everything, now they want to go ahead and downplay the attack. They want to make it seem like they didn't really accomplish their goal. I mean, they might have blew up a little bit, but not a lot though. So it was all in vain.
These bombs implemented on these nuclear sites, that as of right now, it does not appear that they ended or obliterated Iran's nuclear program. Instead, they only set it back by months, according to people who were the assessment.
Now, you see these people? They want to find something negative. They're hoping to throw mud on this because they don't want Trump to go down as the greatest president of all time. Yeah, man, pulls off a flawless attack, gets rid of Iran's nuclear facilities. They didn't get a shot off. Then he goes ahead and said, y'all two need to stop fighting. All right, nigga, all right, fine, cool, we done. So what else can we do? That some intelligence is telling us that they didn't actually blow up everything. It's that there's still some there.
According to White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt, she said, quote, this alleged assessment is flat out wrong. She said it was classified as top secret, but was still leaked to CNN by an...
There you go. So we still got some moles in our intelligence. So now we got to go in there and dig them out. Because somebody leaked a very vague, soft report about what they thought the damages were, just to make it seem like it wasn't all that. Yeah, we don't want... Because Trump came out boasting. We blew it up just like when he killed Baghdadi. He's dead. He died like a dog. He was running down that cave with his flip-flops and his robe and stuff as the dogs chased him. He's dead. Yeah, they don't want Trump boasting about that. So now, since we can't boast about the ceasefire falling apart, let's go ahead and try to make it seem like, well, I don't know. That's a rumor has it that it didn't even work and stuff.
Anonymous low-level loser in the intelligence community. The leaking of this alleged assessment is a clear attempt to demean President Trump and discredit the brave fighter pilots.
And you know why it's a clear effort to discourage Trump and make it seem like it wasn't, because they leaked it to CNN. There you go. They leaked it to the fake news network. So somebody is still in the intelligence agencies, and we got to find them, y'all.
Who conducted a perfectly executed mission to obliterate Iran's nuclear program. Everyone knows what happens when you drop 14 30,000-pound bombs perfectly on their targets.
Ruin your day.
Obliteration.
I think it's been completely demolished. I think the reason we're here is because those pilots, those B-2 pilots, did an unbelievable job.
Yeah.
And, the fake news, like CNN in particular, they're trying to, they're trying to say, well, I agree that it was destroyed, but maybe not that destroyed.
Just can't recognize his greatness. Just can't come out and say, man, that was great. Can't do it. Yeah, I mean, it's all right. Haters. I mean, you might have blew up like maybe this top surface and stuff, but rumors has it, man, it didn't even go off like that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You out here boasting, but you ain't even really do that. That's what it comes down to. And Trump, how do you feel about CNN?
You know what they're doing? They're really hurting great pilots that put their lives in the line. CNN is scum.
Scum! Pawn scum. They're dumpster juice. Along with the Democrats, too. Yeah, all of them. Scum. Scum.
And so is MSDNC. They're all, and frankly, the networks aren't much better. It's all fake news, but they should not have done that. Those pilots hit their targets. Those targets were obliterated, and the pilots should be given credit. Yeah. They're not after the pilots, they're after me.
I'd like to see a deal with Russia.
I don't see. Now they ask him about Putin. Putin. Now, once again, look what Trump is focused on. Russia calls him up. Putin calls him up like, can I help with, Iran? Look at what his mind frame is. This is a great leader.
As you know, Vladimir called me up. He said, can I help you with Iran? I said, no, I don't need help with Iran. I need help with you.
Why? Why, Trump? Why do you need help with him? How does this benefit you? Oh, you just want to see what happened?
And I hope we're going to be getting a deal done with Russia. It's a shame. 6,000 soldiers died last week.
6,000 soldiers died. He's keeping tabs of another country's death toll. I'll be honest. I wouldn't know that. Unless they this is important for you to know, Mr. President. Oh, it is? Oh, so I got to memorize this? I just thought you just tell me, look, people are dying over there in Ukraine. He knows how many people are dying. And he's concerned about it. Yeah, those aren't even Americans. But yet they want us to question his character. He's a warmonger. He's not an isolationist. He wants war. And I'm going, this person wants stuff to stop. And he's dealing with problems all over the globe. And these aren't just the U.S. problems. He's like, look, man, if I can do it, I want to stop y'all from fighting. We can all make money, man. Why is everybody trying to kill everybody? See, so when are they going to recognize Trump's greatness?
More 6,500 soldiers died last week. Russia, Ukraine, a war that never would have happened if I was president.
Bingo.
They're not going to be fine.
So here we go as we close, y'all. Because, see, the fake news, they don't like this stuff right here. He finally made it over to NATO after this operation, then getting out the face of the fake news, calling up Bibi and all of them and the Iranians and say, hey, get back to the peace, the ceasefire. And now he's over there in NATO, handling more problems. And look what they say.
Fighting each other. They've had it. They've had a big fight, like two kids in a schoolyard. They fight like hell. You can't stop them. Let them fight for about 2-3 minutes. Then it's easier to stop them.
And then Daddy has to sometimes use strong language.
You have to use strong language. Every once in a while, you have to use a certain word.
Tell us more about this.
Yeah, well, they said it was actually the report said it could have been they don't know. I mean, they did a report. I could have Pete talk to it because his department did the report. They really don't know. I think Israel's going to be telling us very soon because Bibi is going to have people involved in that whole situation. We hear it was obliteration. It was a virtual obliteration.
And given the 30,000 pounds of explosives and capability of those munitions, it was devastation underneath Fordo. And the amount of munitions, 6 per location, any assessment that tells you it was something otherwise is speculating with other motives.
Yep, with other motives. That means more haters. Yeah, 6, bam, bam. Understand, guys, they dropped them bad boys without the Iranians even knowing it. Without them even waking up. Without them even waking up. And they made sure they gave them a double dose. Made sure, it's like, yeah, we could drop 2 on one location now. We want to keep it going. Keep it going. Want to make sure it goes deep. But yet, some bootleg person in the intelligence agency, they wanted to throw mud on the party. So now these folks got to address that.
And we know that because when you actually look at the report, by the way, it was a top secret report. It was preliminary. It was low confidence. All right. So this is You make assessments based on what you know. They
And
don't
it said it could be very devastating, very serious.
moderate to severe, and we believe far more likely severe and obliterated. So this is a political motive here.
A political motive. Find them. Cash, find them. Pam Bondi, find the leaker. Who would leak something to CNN? Now, you would think these folks, knowing that they're under a new regime that is serious about all of that bull crap, would just lay low. Is your job really worth it to make Trump look bad? Is it? I mean, these liberals and these folks that are never Trumpers, I'm going, y'all are the dumbest people. If you get caught, you're done. But you think it's good so you can make Trump look bad about this attack. Or what are you, pro-Iran? You hate Trump that much, you're pro-Iran, hoping that it didn't work?
Of course, we're doing a leak investigation with the FBI right now because this information is for internal purposes, battle damage assessments.
Yeah.
But had we not succeeded with that hit ended the war. That hit ended the war. I don't want to use an example of Hiroshima. I don't want to use an example of Nagasaki. But that was essentially the same thing. That ended that war. This ended that with the war. If we didn't take that out, they'd be fighting right now.
Yep. That's enough to demoralize anybody. And you know what's crazy about the Iranian regime? The regime, the leaders, they don't want to die. Isn't that odd? They want to encourage everybody else to do the dirty work. But when it comes down to their power and their life, I guess they're that important. That we want to become a bomber ourselves, but we're very important. Allah has made us become leaders. We need to guide everybody else, but you can be a bomber. And I'm going, well, wait a minute. Why don't y'all strap something to yourselves and run in there and blow up stuff? Yeah, y'all got the hint real quick that, wait a minute, yeah, y'all can be touched. Yeah, y'all can be had. We know where you at. We didn't do it. We used restraint. We could have went and cut the snake's head off. We knew where you was at, sleeping, the supreme, whatever you call yourself. We knew where you was at. But we showed you that our goal is not to start an unnecessary drawn-out war, regime change. It's just your nuclear bombs. We can't let that happen. Can't let that happen. Now, just let it go, man. I'm telling you, let it go. And so we're going to close out with this.
The conversion facility, which you can't do a nuclear weapon without a conversion facility. We can't even find where it is, where it used to be on the map.
Go.
You can't even find where it used to be because the whole thing is just blackened out. It's gone.
It's wiped out.
It's wiped out. Then we dropped 12 of the strongest bombs on the planet right down the hole in 2 places.
America!
Everything underneath that mountain is in bad shape.
Bad shape.
And I refer you to the statement of the IAEA, Mr. Grossi. You know what he said? He said there was Iran, the way it looked the day before the attack, and what their nuclear program looks like now. 2 very different things.
Yeah, but y'all want to listen to the fake news. That Trump that he ain't get no ceasefire, and then they said that they didn't even blow up nothing. I think they missed the whole target, as far as I know, and this and this and that. But now all of a sudden, that we hear it from the horse's mouths, yeah, they up here telling us the real deal. And then this man right here from another country is going to do the awesome thing, which is finally recognize Trump's greatness, unlike some of our Americans over here that don't.
They are way behind where they were just 7 days ago.
Yeah, the last thing they want to do is enrich anything right now. They want to recover. And we won't let that happen. Number one, militarily we won't. I think we'll end up having somewhat of a relationship with Iran.
And you know what's great about Trump? He always extends an olive branch. Yeah, we whooped your butt. That we know that you're licking your wounds. But hey, look, if y'all want to, though, we can be friends. I mean, I'm just letting you know. And our relationship can be repaired at any moment. It's up to y'all. It's up to y'all. Hey, you know. So I love the way he does that. But then this guy right here, from another country. Now I'm wondering why our Democrats can't do this. Wondering why our fake news can't do this. Watch this.
I see it. Look, I've had a relationship over the last 4 days. They agreed to the ceasefire. And it was a very equal agreement. They both said, that's enough. They both said it. I mean, they just went through hell. I think they've had it. The last thing they want to do is enrich. They've been trying to do it. By the way, it's hard to enrich. And, you know, when you look at a site like that, very, very hard to build.
Yeah.
Very, very hard. Very expensive. They spent trillions of dollars trying to do this thing. And they
thanks to Joe Biden and Obama, with all that money they gave them. All that money they had given them and stuff.
Didn't come up with it. And we're actually getting along with them very well right now.
Yeah, that's what a butt whooping to do. Yeah, you get along with your mom. My mom used to do it all the time. Whoop me, then tell me to come over and give her some sugar. Snack. Come here. No, I ain't coming. You ain't killing me. Boy, I ain't gonna kill you. Get over here. Don't hit me again. I ain't gonna hit you. Now, you know I love you, right? I think. No? Okay, yeah, I guess. You guess? Yeah, you love me. All right, now go outside and play. Go outside tender, still stinging from the whooping. And she got to make me come up there and give her some sugar. I better make peace or I'll go for round 2. And I didn't want that. So let's continue.
You took out the nuclear capability of Iran. This was crucial. You did it in a way which is extremely impressive. But the signal sends to the rest of the world that this president, when it comes to it, yes, he is a man of peace, but if necessary, he is willing to use strength.
Now look at this. That's the title. Yeah, when are they going to recognize Trump's greatness? I do. This guy does. Why don't CNN and MSNBC and Jasmine Ratchet and all nasty Pelosi, why don't they recognize it?
The enormous strength of the American military. So I think that signal to the rest of the world, this is far beyond Iran, is extremely important.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. So there it is, winning still. And I pray that we'll continue to win. And I pray that God continues to allow Trump to use wisdom. And that's the key, man. Right now, as of now, his choices really shows a lot of wisdom when it comes down to how he's dealing with stuff. You know, when it comes down to aggressive things like what he did, it has to be a necessity. You know, they saw enough information and had enough data where they said, man, we got to do this. We got to do this. Lest we allow a bigger problem to develop that we will look back one day and say, we could have solved it then. Yeah, now all of a sudden they talking real reckless. I mean, try telling them they need to get rid of nuclear bombs, not their nuclear development, their program. No, the bombs itself. Try telling them that. Y'all need to disassemble those nukes. What? Are you kidding me? Y'all should have dealt with us 2 years ago when y'all knew we was at 60% uranium. Now all of a sudden y'all got to see, yeah, they be able to talk about now y'all got to tiptoe around us. Y'all should have got us before we got out of control. Now, you want to get our nukes? Come get them. Yeah, we're taking a whole bunch of folks with us. We don't want that. I think this was a wise choice. I think that considering they did their homework to make sure they minimize any type of blowback in regards to this operation. You know, and I think it was pulled off flawlessly. At the end of the day, we accomplished our goal, and Iran couldn't even respond in a way that it would hurt us. Everybody was worried, what are they going to do to us? What are they going to? And I'm going, what can they do? They're like seconds away from their whole, military just being destroyed. But Trump gave them at least the ability to save face in front of their people. They gave him a phone call. Now, does that sound like somebody who wants smoke? Where they like, all right, we're letting you know we're about to launch our pretend retaliation, okay? We're just letting you know that, okay? Everybody's out. We don't want to accidentally hurt an American. Okay, cool. So we're good. Okay, we're now going to fight against the infidels. We will destroy them. That's what we'll do. Fire the rockets. Make sure they do not hit anyone, okay? We don't want to. Yeah. So no American lives were lost. No Iranian lives were lost in that. And we got a ceasefire. And until that changes, right now, it looks like this is a wonderful W that Trump should go down in history for. But yet we got folks over here that are hating. And it's a shame. It really is a shame. Something like this should be at least admired or appreciated by any, American that got common sense and a little bit of patriotism. But the left just can't do it. But I can. I can recognize at this point, Trump is leading the race when it comes to the greatest president of all times. So God bless y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me today, should I say. I figured I had to get one in where I fit in. I was thinking to myself, boy, man, I can't go another day without checking in with the peeps. So now I'm about to go to sleep. After I checked in with the peeps, about to go to sleep. Yeah, get up about 10 minutes before work start. That's what I'm gonna do. So I shall be back tomorrow. Not sure if it's in the morning or it's gonna be in the afternoon. Who knows? In the evening rather. But those that catch me in the morning, catch me in the morning. Those that catch me in the evening, catch me in the evening. And in the meanwhile, please hit the like button on your way out. Share my videos. Those that gave in the super chat, thank you. Look at that, y'all. Y'all done blessed me. And you can also bless me through my Cash App or my PayPal. The links are below each video. Or you can check out my online store. You can do that. But subscribe to my alternative channels as well. All right. Don't have my theme music in today because I knew it was going to be a long one. I wanted to go ahead and wrap it up. And you know what? I don't want to embarrass Gizmo by showing him off right now or her because they both need haircuts. They will be super mad at me. Like, I can't believe you put me on the internet looking like this. And my hair ain't done or nothing. Yeah. So God bless y'all. We'll see y'all probably tomorrow. Take care. Down. Get down, dogs.